Alright, we're back on gaming. Oh my god, look, it's like clockwork. Every time I take some time off, idiots come out the woodwork and try to do something, do they not? You cannot tell me that this doesn't always happen, isn't it? It's always, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's stupidity on the internet every day we see, alright? But you've got to be kidding me that when I go away, it's just like they just unleashed the gate. Someone left the damn gate open. That's what happened, all right? And then all of a sudden, the stupidity comes through. And that's what we're going to start with today, Gamergate. We're going to talk about SJWs. Yeah, we're talking about Gamergate and all this type of stuff. But understand, it's not going to start with video games. No, it starts with anime. That's right. All right, for those who don't know, the way, translations work when it comes to anime, all right? Because we're talking about prison school, for those who don't know, okay? SJWs have decided that they're going to shoehorn a line in insulting Gamergate in prison school, in the anime. Mind you, has nothing to do with Gamergate. Anime, nothing to do with it whatsoever, right? That's what it comes down to, right? These are the same people who say that, you people need to be adult, and you need to be mindful of what you say, and then you go and do something like that. Yeah, that's what you went and did. So, look, I'll put it like this. Am I upset? For what I've seen, I haven't seen really many upset, but am I upset that they shoehorn a Gamergate line in prison school? No. What I'm upset is that the script writer, right, the person who's adapting the script, that jackass, guess what you just did? You just botched a translation, which means that you just messed up the dub. And you have to understand, the people who are upset over this, it's not Gamergate. Gamergate's sitting back laughing. They're not mad. You don't know who's mad? Anime fans. Because you should know by now that anime fans, it is, and I put it like this, and that's what upsets me the most. You have to understand that there's always been this thing with anime where people have said, we prefer sub over dub. And then when companies don't bring over certain anime, what happens? We get fan subs, do we not? And then you see companies who get all mad, and then they want to shut that down as well. We see this all the time, do we not? Okay, with that being said, you have to understand, for years, and I'm going to say this is how it impacts everything, because it's so unprofessional that you would try to shoehorn your political belief into something that has nothing to do with Gamergate. And here's the thing, they're sitting around high-fiving each other over it. So you're celebrating your immaturity. Get fired. I keep saying this due to the fact that, look, understand this really quickly, okay? We know for years and years that dubs in anime have been horrendous. We know this, okay? But over the years, the quality of dubs have become better, have they not? We've seen better production, we've seen voice actors really step their game up, and look, I put it like this, if anyone doesn't understand how hard that these voice actors work just to get to where they're at, when you are botching translations, alright, and you have anime fans saying, you know what? This is why we prefer sub over dub. You know what that means? That means the demand for dub goes down, and guess what happens? That means voice actors are out of a job. It could be also depending on their contract as well. So you have to understand, what you just did was not only unprofessional, not only immature, but it impacted a number of people with their jobs. But it's okay, right? Because you got your Gamergate line and high five. You can't be that much of a fucking idiot. But yet, that's not all. No. Here's the thing. So after that happened, a lot of people wanted an official statement from Funimation because they're the company, brought it over. And Funimation, still quiet about it. Won't say anything about it. You go over to their website and their moderators, who are just as stupid, alright, are defending this. Oh, Gamergate's just butthurt because there was a joke made about him. Well, did you know not too long ago they took a shot at SJWs as well and everyone was fine with that? No, it's not fine. Here's the thing. If you decide to botch a translation, alright, that people are paying for, that's right, paying. We're not talking about sitting online and watching shit, no. Because these companies, they do this and bring them over and pay these voice actors because they think they're going to get that revenue back, okay? Because it's a business, so they want people to buy it. When you are doing something like that, it is not about, people are just, their feelings are hurt. No, people are losing money. That's what it is. And when you have moderators saying, it's just Gamergate being mad, no, it goes beyond that. And the fact that there are moderators on Funimation who don't understand that, lose your position. Lose your position. It is absolutely, like I said, the guy who did that and thought it was cool and I don't care, I'm so rebel, that's what he's acting like he's a fucking rebel. Ooh, you added a line into an anime, so rebellious. If that's as rebellious as you get, then you know nothing about the real world. It is fucking ridiculous. And you're entitled as well. Because look at the position you're at right now. Are you going to sit here and tell me that that was okay? Are you going to sit here and try and preach morals now too? You'll tell me that again? Alright. The fact is, you should be fired for what you did. People who encourage this should be shunned due to the fact that you just botched the translation. Like I said, it's money. I'm still waiting for Funimation to say something. And the longer that Funimation does not say anything, it means that they're hoping that it blows over. That's right. Speaking of blowing over and people being fired, let's talk about a one Phil Owen. That's right. Now look, yesterday, for those who saw on Twitter, yeah, I said something to him. I had to. It got to, it's like, I'm getting to the point now where these entitled SJWs, hipster neckbeard bastards, that's right, yeah, neckbeard, I'm calling them, because I don't want to say shit lord, because you know what? Apparently they own that now. I'm going to show you that as well, okay? But Phil Owen decided that he was going to write a book called What the Fuck is Wrong with Games Right Now. Alright? He decided to write that. Do I care? No. I don't care about his book. I don't care about his opinion on video games. I don't. Okay? But apparently it's got to be addressed. Alright? What did bother me yesterday is the fact that he came out and said that Gamergate, all of them, are a bunch of racists. So I'm like, so all of Gamergate is a racist, huh? All of us. So everyone that's including me, I'm a racist now. So we got a white guy, and I'm going to say that, a white guy, is going to tell me what racism really is. That's right. And the fact that he doesn't know everyone, but that's assuming, because he, once again, makes himself look like an ass. So I said, you know what, alright, I'm tired of seeing this. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't care about the book. I don't care how about he plugged. We'll get into that in a minute, okay? But I said, look, well, since you're so, big on anti-racism, like many people are, I was like, why don't we have a boxing match, that's right, for charity, for anti-racism? That's what I said to him. I said, if you decline, that's fine. That's fine. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm just going to be like, oh, you're a bitch, blah, blah. Now, mind you, this is coming from the guy who names himself on Twitter Mean Guy. Yeah, okay? But when he gets the challenge, right? Then he was just, I don't know how to respond to this. And then you guys on Twitter was like, I bet you'll back out of it. And I was like, yeah, I'll probably back out, whatever, And then he subtweets again. And you know what? This really pisses me off about the subtweeting thing. Because if you have something to say to me, then say it to me. Don't be a bitch and run to your fans and say, hey, look, this is what this guy said. This is what he said. And then you hope to get some type of, try to be a sympathetic figure and have them back you. Get the fuck out of here with that, okay? So, when he says, I don't know how to respond to it, right? I say to him, well, it's really simple. You can either accept it or you can decline it. Yes or no answer. I don't know. For a person who's written a book, mind you, it was self-published, who's written a book, I think it's really, I'm sure you can grasp yes or no. I'm sure you can. All right? So then he says, well, I've been calling Gamergate racist, before you weirdos came in. Oh, so now you want to start insulting me. When I simply suggested a challenge for charity for something that you feel strongly on, now it's, I'm a weirdo. So now you're already starting with the name calling. Okay, so you want to sit online, from behind the safety of your computer or your mobile phone and start calling people names, but when you're challenged, you sure as hell, you ducked it, didn't you? Because you never gave me an answer. And then his fuckboys come along, that's right. Oh, he's mad because of your opinion on video games, so fight him. And I'm like, if you read the tweets, I said I don't care about this guy's opinion on video games or his book. That's not what this is about. I just heard about this guy yesterday. I just got back yesterday. So I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? But since he wants to be all gun-ho and call everyone racist and everything, let's pull his card. That's what I did. Called his bluff. Not my fault he backed down. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, once I started talking to those, those guys, they're like, well, the one guy was like, well, it does seem like you do a lot of charity work. Because he was looking through my stuff. He saw the Extra Life stuff. He saw I just ran the half marathon not too long ago. So he was like, yeah, it seems like, you do a lot of charity work, so I can't really say anything about it. He was like, I really don't have any interest in all this. And I'm like, well, you're messaging me. He messaged me like 4 or 5 times in a row. And I'm like, well, you seem to be very interested in it to defend this guy. I was like, he's a grown man. He can defend himself. It's that simple. If you want to get on Twitter and talk reckless, and then when someone challenges you, don't bitch up now. Don't do that. All right? Mean guy. But there's more to it. All right? So afterwards, the guy was like, well, I just felt it was wrong, for you to challenge him to charity. And then he started asking about all these charities. And I was like, well, do you want to participate? I asked him, do you want to participate? And he was like, no. All right, well then, what's going on here? What is there left to say? Because you came here to defend him, and then when he addressed me, finally, and then he ducked me because he never gave me a real answer, it's like, what else is there to say to you? And then he walked away. The other guy decided, to try and talk shit behind my back, and people, we caught on to it, and I addressed him directly and said, no, this is not about video games. And I let him know exactly how I felt about it, and what did he do? He just said, I'm just going to block bot everyone. That's what he said. He admitted he was going to use a block bot. And so he's like, because I don't want these people on my TL. And what did I say on Twitter? I said, well, then don't talk shit about people behind their back. You won't have any problems. So let me get this straight. Y'all want to sit around. Y'all supposed to be the mature type. You're supposed to be the adult type. But you're running around talking shit behind people's back and then using a block bot when they finally address you directly. Very mature. See, this is the shit I'm talking about. But, like I said, speaking of fired, this guy's book, apparently, the excerpts I've seen from it, he was fired. That's right. He was fired because he said that he didn't want to cater to the audience, and he called the audience a bunch of shitlords. As you can see near the end, he says that he's still bitter about the situation. Dude, you have to move on. You have to, mean guy. You're supposed to be able to just brush that off and keep going, right? But you're still bitter about it. Look, I put it like this. If that's what you're bitter over, then your life is set. If that's what you have to worry about, because there's a lot of shit going on in this world that you could be either fighting for or being activist for, but no, that's what you're deciding. That's your line. That's your line in the sand. That's what you're drawing on. And we're going to talk about that more too, okay? Because it's absolutely ridiculous. But you're still bitter about it. Fine. But then when gamers come to him and say, hey, look, games are supposed to be fun. It's not all about being art and avant-garde and all this. He says, no, you're absolutely wrong. We're supposed to take his word over the recently passed on Satoru Iwata, who, as we know, is a pioneer in this company. Yeah, because that's going to go well. Look, I put it like this. Even afterwards, Gamergate dug deep and found out that all the advertising for this self-published book was through Polygon. And then we found out that Polygon staff, because they were labeled Polygon staff, and then they were like, no, we have nothing to do with this. He wrote it in third person to promote his book. That's right. So this guy self-published, he wrote the book, self-published the book, and then promoted the book under Polygon, and then Polygon's like, nope, we don't want nothing to do with it. So then you did the stuff yourself. This is what we talk about. And every time you keep saying that Gamergate is irrelevant, you pull this, and guess what? You give them more ammo. That's what you did. Congratulations. Now, see, here's the thing. If you would have just, disclosed it to begin with, no one would have had a problem with it. Because, like I said, your opinion on video games is your opinion. We can differ in opinion, but don't give me this crap that all of a sudden that your opinion means more now because you wrote a book. That's bullshit. But that's not all. Now he wants to try and play the victim card. That's right, because when I was going to say Grand Theft Auto, when Gamergate catches him on his self-publishing and then Polygon backs out and says that no, we have nothing to do with it, then he tries to say that he's truly the victim here, and now you know how women feel. Gigi wasn't all up in your shit all day because, as you said on Twitter, you actually went off. You logged off, went to sleep, and came back. And you were like, I don't care. So all of a sudden, it's now you're the victim because you got caught. But this is how women feel every day. So you're going to speak for women on how they feel every day because you know every woman. Stop! Just stop! Just stop. You're hurting yourself. And just because you keep screaming, Gamergate is harassing me, that doesn't mean that it's going to stick. Okay? You got caught. Just own up to it. Everyone wants to be an adult, right? Own up to it. But you can't do that. No, because that would hurt your narrative. It's amazing how the same people who keep preaching this bullshit all of a sudden get caught red-handed. Like I said, I just found out about this guy yesterday. You know what I mean? Yesterday. I didn't know who the hell he was. But it gets worse. I want to talk about the middle class and the upper class on how they want to be oppressed so badly. They want to be oppressed so badly. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn went to the UN. That's right, for a meeting. The UN. That's right. Now, I want to ask people, people who are oppressed, would they have had time for you? No. You wouldn't have had a chance to go to the UN and let alone speak, would you? No. Like I said before, they have connections. Look at where they're from, look who they're connected to, and that's how they got to their meeting with the UN. Gamers just can't get up, today. I can't get up right now and be like, I'm going to the UN for a meeting, I'm going to speak there. I can't do that. No. A lot of people can't do that. And that's what people don't understand. Like I said, these people are juiced in, and these people are entitled as fuck. But they're going to sit here and tell you how they're oppressed. Oh, I'm oppressed, and you need to stop this. And I've told you this time and time again. How has this narrative gone so far? How's it going? It went from, well, women just need to be included more. Did it not? We heard that. Then we heard, well, games are way too violent, and they need to tone it down a bit, It needs to be more hand-holding and more avant-garde. We heard this then. What did I say? Jack Thompson 2.0. I said that how long ago? Don't tell me I didn't say this. And then, today, or should I say over the weekend, when he went to the UN, it was, we want to censor everyone who criticizes us. Remember, they didn't say they didn't want to censor anyone before. They just wanted to be included. Now they want to censor everyone because cyber harassment and cyber violence. Really? Really? I find it funny that these people have made such a killing. When I mean a killing, I mean a living off of being oppressed. So you want to speak about oppression? I just have to ask, where are the minorities on this issue? Oh wait, I forgot. You said we didn't exist, right? Alright, we're going to keep moving on. That's right, let's talk about games. And I just find it funny that this is happening. Assassin's Creed, Ass Creed, that's right, starting with Ass Creed, Ass Crud, whatever you want to call it. Ass Creed Syndicate has series' first transgender character. And I still don't care. Because Ass Creed sucks. That's why. Because they pushed it so much, they milked it to hell, that even, like I said before, we saw the reports that the biggest fan base for Assassin's Creed was telling Ubisoft, stop making them for a while. You're bringing them out too much. And Ubisoft said what? Deal with it. So now, after the whole, women were too hard to animate, now we're going to bring in transgender and all this. It doesn't matter. When you try and highlight, and this is from GameSpot, I'm pretty disgusted by this article, because usually I use GameSpot articles, do I not? But when you try and highlight, oh, a woman did this, or a transgender character is the first transgender character, you understand that actually you're making it worse. Because if everybody wants equality, you wouldn't make them stand out like that. You wouldn't make a report for them to stand out. Their first transgender character. You do realize that we have played over the years as characters who are blue, who are alien, who are whatever. It doesn't matter. Gamers game, they're going to play whatever the fuck they want, and they don't care what character they use. But for some odd reason, this media, who, if you ask me, it seems these days, even the gaming media, doesn't play many games, or doesn't have the history, the credentials. I hate to say the word credentials to back it up, because as you know, majority of males who play MMOs use women. But I guess you're going to say that's sexist too, huh? Okay. There's no way around it. The fact is, if you wanted this to be about equality, you wouldn't have made it a big deal. The same thing with Kung Jin and MKX. Oh, he's a gay fighter. And? Who cares? You're fighting. Who cares? The guy that you're probably fighting, probably a Scorpion player anyway, guess what? He's from hell. Alright? And he's throwing shit at you. Do you really think that I'm going to be using Kung Jin and be like, he's gay? No! I'm like, alright, how can I get around this? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand the thought process when it comes to this. And when people try to highlight this type of stuff and say that the gaming community has a problem with transgender or women, or when you bring that up, guess what? It's not the community that has the problem. It's you that has the problem. Because you're the one bringing it up. No one's saying anything about it. No one cares. I don't care if the person was black, red, yellow, transgender, whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. If the game is good, I'm going to play it. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Anyway, let's move on. Let's start more fighting games. All right. Filipino Champ. Got to talk about for a minute. That's right, FGC. Filipino Champ discusses about playing an FGC villain. Look. We've seen this way too much as of late, have we not? Where guys who act like fucking assholes, no matter where they're at, all of a sudden want to hide behind the villain card like it's wrestling. Get the fuck out of my face. You're a piece of shit. Alright? And he even goes as far as, and there's a video, link in the info bar in the video, he starts crying. Oh my God, he starts crying. You're not a sympathetic figure for everything that you have done over the years. You have to understand it is not a play. It's not this character you're making. All right? If this was painfully, I'll put it like this. You notice they didn't say this shit until a couple years ago when they got caught, when that video, when they were in the car and they were talking about how they were going to act towards each other. And they're like, oh yeah, well, after I win or whatever, because it was collusion, I'm going to still act like I hate you and everything. Notice they didn't say shit until then, because the jig was up. That's why. So now all of a sudden people who have to act like a bunch of assholes, all of a sudden gotta say, well, it's just the persona, blah, 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 blah. So what you're telling me is that you haven't been real the entire time, which means you're a fucking fraud. That's what it means. If that's the excuse you want to go with, then I'm going to call you a fraud every time. You just can't be a regular person, can you? You just can't be a nice person. You just can't say, hey man, good game. You can't do that, can you? No, you gotta try and be a dick. I forgot, this is the same Filipino champ that shook a guy's hand and afterwards got on an interview and started talking shit behind the guy's back. Yeah, villain status, my ass. No, that's not what villains do. Hell, even super villains are better than this. They're cunning, they're planning. We just talked about this yesterday. Cunning, planning, deceitful. And guess what? You think you learned this from comics or even Megaman. But no, you don't want to do that. No, everyone wants to all of a sudden play this card. If that's the case, then everyone needs to start getting titles, start acting like Ric Flair, and no, I'm done with this shit, man. If you want to praise characters, man, mind you, the game itself, the fight itself is supposed to be what matters. That's the entertainment. Not these people jumping around, acting a fool, breaking controllers, throwing shit and carrying on. No. That's not a character. That is someone who is very fucking salty. That's who it is. And it's immature. But of course, me saying all this, I'll be the bad guy, right? I'll be the bad guy. So if I'm the bad guy, should I play the villain role? Should I just be like, hey, fuck all of you, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? That's when the people who don't like me will start to like me. That's how it works. It's fucking stupid. Ain't anybody who can see that this shit really is turning into wrestling when it comes to people's emotions. Done. Anyways, in more news. There will be no on-disc DLC for Street Fighter. Street Fighter 5. I'll believe it when I see it. How about that? I'll believe it when I see it. Also, there won't be a Super or Ultra version of Street Fighter 5. I will believe that when I see that as well. Alright? We all know how Capcom operates, so, if they're changing their ways, we'll see. Alright? But until then, like I said, just because they make statements means nothing. The problem with this is they'll make a statement, then show you a flashy trailer, then you'll have a bunch of guys, bunch of fucking idiots do reaction videos, and, oh my god, hey, this looks so great! Calm the fuck down, it's a video game. I understand that you're happy, but you act like it's something new. It's not. Oh my god, look at Ken! Oh, I'm gonna freak out over it! Same Ken, same moveset, same stuff. Calm down. There's some things that are changed, or a little bit altered, because as you know, you gotta alter a little bit of things as you go along. But remember, for years, Capcom didn't alter a lot of things when it came to Street Fighter V. The game that altered their gameplay the most year by year was what? Anybody from the FGC? Anybody? Anybody who doesn't play Marvel or Street Fighter? Anybody? King of Fighters. That's right. Because the moveset, even though it was the same moves, you had to execute them differently year by year. But we don't talk about that, though. No. Everybody wants innovation. Everybody, they just keep changing the moveset, and I can't keep learning. I can't keep up. You can't keep up? So if I have to, instead of charging for a move, and they turn it next year to a quarter circle, all of a sudden you can't keep up? Come on, man. Stop. No, just stop. Like I said, do I really have to be a bad guy today? Do I really have to be? Anyways, let's move on. Maybe this will calm down those people who are probably right now hitting the shit out of this like button. Fuck this guy. Maybe this will calm you down, okay? How esports are driving the evolution of Street Fighter and the Capcom Cup. That's right. So esports, as we know, is becoming a bigger thing. And if you thought that I was an asshole today about the FGC, wait till you hear what Colin Cowherd, that's right, again, this guy does not stop. He actually takes a shot at the FGC. Let's hear what Colin Cowherd had to say this time about video games and esports.
Former employer, I went on the air and said I was going to leave if they ever signed a long-term contract with esports. Esports is basically electronic sports, meaning you televise people playing video games. Well, Turner Broadcasting, TBS, announced a partnership with IMG Thursday. They're going to bring competitive video gaming exclusively to their cable network, TBS, along with digital coverage. Super. East Coast epicenter for esports competitive gaming. It's a new league, which is yet to be named. They'll have televised tournaments twice a year that include a 10-week regular season, playoff, and championships. What I'm about to play for you is actual esports on television. Roll the tape.
And the dead angle doesn't bait it. Gets caught low again, has to burst immediately.
Full meter though, full meter! He's gonna have to do, oh he can't, no burst!
So smart!
Oh my
So
God!
smart!
Genius!
So smart, he couldn't burst because of the super. But Washiga thinks it's over!
Lock down,
But he won the last round! And the Bella doesn't care! He still got 65%!
Oh my God!
Washiga, no!
Washiga, not like this! What are you
What
standing
are you
up for?
standing up for?
Why?
Oh my God!
That is now going to be a league. That was the nerd equivalent of banned on the field, Cal Stanford.
It's a huge deal. Like, it's bigger than the Super Bowl in other countries.
Yeah, great. We also have play-by-play of the winner there, Spencer, as he left the event and went home. Here it is. There goes Spencer. He's leaving the event and walking across the street to his mom's house, where he still lives at 29. He goes over to the refrigerator, opens it up. He's got a Hot Pocket. Oh, yeah. Microwave next. Look at the cheese. Yeah, big night for Spencer. Now he's going upstairs to his room, a room where a girl has never entered. He sits down, look at that Star Wars collection, and goes to town on the Hot Pocket. There is your esports champion, Spencer.
That's so mean.
I guess I was a little mean there.
This is so fucking pathetic. It just is. Listening to Colin Cowherd is like watching paint dry. It really is. That's why they had to give him someone next to him. And you know, the chick's like, oh my God. It's just so mean. But you're sitting there entertaining it, though. You're laughing at it. You're entertaining it. If it's so mean, if you're supposed to be an adult, you would look at Colin Cowherd and say, the fuck is wrong with you? Obviously, Colin Cowherd is one of those people who, like I said before, he has no way, no right to call anyone else a dork, okay? And just to let you know, Gordon Hayward, that's right, Jazz Guard, Gordon Hayward came out and took a shot at Colin Cowherd because of the fact that he went after gamers. So now a professional athlete is calling you out, Colin Cowherd. That's why, like I said, that's what we call him, Colin Cowherd. Like I said, people in the sports community already know about this guy. And the fact that he left ESPN because of the fact that, for, you know, his controversial comments, and some will say it's racist, about the Dominican Republic baseball team, that's why he was let go at ESPN, and now he's on Fox. I'm not surprised, because that's what Fox does. But the fact is, you have to understand that this, like I said, this guy, he has nothing left. So he's going to keep saying things about gamers because that's what gets him attention. Matter of fact, that video on YouTube, it has so many dislikes as opposed to likes. Colin Cowherd, we know Colin Cowherd's a joke. We know it. All right? We see many players, athletes, play video games these days on YouTube, do we not? Do we see a number of professional wrestlers play video games on YouTube, do we not? Like, you cannot sit here and say that, you know, well, video games and esports, no. You know, when we went to MomoCon, all right, when all of us were at MomoCon, Xavier Woods was there. He was there amongst the crowd, you know, professional wrestler Xavier Woods from New Day. He was there, WWE. He was there to watch MKX and a number of things. He was there. So you're going to tell me that everyone now is just a dork because they play these games? Is that it, Colin Cowherd? And for those who didn't see Twitter earlier, I challenged Colin Cowherd. This is the second challenge in 2 days. I've been back 2 days and I've thrown out 2 challenges. All right? I said to him, I said, we can play, since, you know, you don't like gamers. All right? I said, we can play basketball, football, one-on-one, basketball, football, one-on-one, you know, steady quarterback. I said, we can do boxing. I said, for charity. I said, and afterwards, we can play any video game that you want, and I'll beat you in that too. I said, but I guess then, the way I look, I guess I'm just some big dork too, huh? Of course, he's not going to respond. But the fact is, these talking heads, these people who are so safe behind their walls, you know what I mean? Their little companies or their little cell phones or whatever, they say what they want, but when challenged, they duck. But I love the fact that it took an NBA, you know, an NBA player actually came out and said something. I like that. So, shout-outs to that. But Colin Cowherd, if everyone's such a dork and, you know, they just sit at home in their mom's basement, here's some news for you then, alright? Pianist credits video games, that's right, a pianist. That's right, a professional pianist. You know, a guy who actually plays piano in a hall. Credits video games for having a good ear. That's right. So once again, video games wins. But you want to know things that do win, and some also lose. As you know, all year I've been talking about fighting the one-armed luchador. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, this is the guy I've been challenging for all summer. I went from arcade to arcade on that boardwalk, and he's nowhere to be found. Can't find him. However, I did find a suitable replacement within El Toro. That's right, El Toro the Bull. Now, usually, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this video, okay? Because, that's right, I'm going to go after El Toro. But you have to understand that the original El Toro, the bull would go left and right. So you had to stop the bull from turning. This one, you actually had to crunch in the horns. That's right. So right after my half marathon, literally, as soon as I passed the finish line, I walked over, which was right across, the arcade was right across from the finish line, on the boardwalk, which is maybe 10 steps. I went right into the arcade and went right after El Toro. So let's see how I do. Alright, now I just finished running a half marathon, and I still have not found the one-armed luchador. So today I found a worthy opponent, which is El Toro the Bull. Now this isn't the same El Toro that I'm used to. The old El Toro the Bull used to go left and right. You had to stop it from moving side to side. This one seems to have to squeeze in order to get the strength on. Now mind you, I just finished running a half marathon, okay? So let's see just how well I do. Right? Here we go. Now I wonder if I can start this way. I'm supposed to do it this way, but I'm going lower center of gravity, right? Here we go. Quarterback. That means I am 5 off from champion. And that is not bad, due to the fact that I just ran a half marathon. So, looks like El Toro the Bull. Actually, I think I beat him out 75%. So 75 out of 100. That's not too bad, okay? Especially after running, you know, a half marathon. So, anyways, till then, I'll talk to y'all then. Now, whether you feel I lost that or I won that, like I said, 75 out of 100 is not bad. Like I said, who runs a half marathon and then goes wrestles a mechanical bull? Who does that? I do. That's... However, it was fun to do, I will say. They had a lot of stuff there. A lot of unique games there as well. Transformers shooting game, Aliens, was it Armageddon, was it, of course, Terminator Salvation. I showed pictures on Twitter. I showed you they had a Madden arcade game. Yeah, Madden. So I guess, you know, just fuck NFL Blitz. We'll go with Madden now, it seems. This is pretty sad. Anyways, I want to say that was really fun. And like I said, if I was 100%, El Toro the Bull would have been mine. Who would have? Running a half marathon and then going to do it right away. I would say I'm pretty proud of myself on that one. Anyways, I want to move on. That's right. We're going to talk Bungie. That's right. Bungie says it knew that Destiny, that its leveling system was flawed from the onset. So you knew this and still put out the game. You knew this. You screwed players and you knew this. It seems like every time we turn around we hear something about Bungie and Destiny, it's always something negative if you haven't realized. The media is killing Bungie. Gamers are killing Bungie. I don't understand how they can sit here with a straight face and just say these things and be like, it's not that big of a deal because we can just patch it later or whatever. You screwed gamers' gameplay from the start. You knew it, and yet you still released it because you had a deadline, right? Because you had a deadline. Same thing, for those who don't know, Uncharted 4 has been delayed because Naughty Dog is not very happy with their ending. Because they said they will overexceed their deadline. They're not going to meet their deadline because they want to make sure they get it right. That's how you do it. Bungie, you got a lot to learn. You do. But let's keep going with more, shooting. Pew, 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 right? All right. Call of Duty. That's right. I'm sure a lot of you heard the news, but if you haven't, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 for the PS3 and 360 will drop the campaign mode. Well, no campaign mode, all right? It will drop Weapon Paint Shop and esports tools. That's right. So pretty much backwards compatibility. Well, I shouldn't say backwards compatibility. Last gen. Not being supported as much this gen, if you've noticed that. Remember, they said that, all companies like, oh, we'll still support, last gen. We're going to support just as much as we did. For those who don't know, remember, when the PS3 came out, the PS2 was still rocking. Sony kept doing that, did they not? Microsoft, came out with the 360, and they was like, well, we'll support the Xbox, the original Xbox for a while, and then slowly but surely they went around. You notice, now, these days, it's either PS4 or Xbox One, and we're really not going to support you that much, or we're going to gimp you, because we don't want to give it, or in MKX's case, we'll give it to another company, I should say WB did this, we'll give it to another company, they can't meet the status quo, so now it's canceled. I don't know what they're doing. But speaking of Microsoft, Phil Spencer says that console wars are unhealthy for our industry. So, it just took you this long to say this. We've been saying this for how long? For how many years we saw the console wars? People were specifically not buying certain games or trashing on certain games or going on Metacritic and thumbing, giving low stars to a game simply because of the console it was on. That is what you call immaturity. And these companies had a hand into it because they kept pushing it, did they not? They did. And they kept saying, hey, we want to see just how loyal you really are. We saw that. And we saw media outlets say, you know what, you should be able to just play your games and not have to worry about it. But no, gamers were upset about that. And we saw plenty of videos on YouTube of people trashing each other because of said console or said game on console, and it's better here and that. We saw it time and time again. Did we not? I mean, do we need to really bring up the original Bayonetta, how it was optimized better for the Xbox and not the PS3, the Xbox 360 and not the PS3? Do we need to talk about that? Okay. Like I said, if you're going to sit here and say it's not good for the industry, then guess what? Those developers and you publishers, you have to give your developers time to actually work on this stuff. But then again, the power to sell and all this other crap. We saw so much convoluted bullshit on why things weren't great or things were great here and there. If you took your time and made stuff, then all it was a bunch of excuses. It was. But it's about time somebody came out and said something. But does it really matter now? Because you still have people to this day who believe that the Xbox is better than the PS4 or the PS4 is better than the Xbox. You go where the games are. That's what you do. You go where the games are. That's what makes gamers gamers. It doesn't matter how many consoles you have or if you're a PC guy or a girl or whatever. It doesn't matter. But whatever. Keep going. Anyway, Dead Island Epidemic, for those who don't know, is shutting down October 15th. That's right, just to give you, a heads up. Also, Megaman Legends hits the PSN. Okay. Capcom. You do realize what fans are waiting for, right? We've been talking about this for years, right? But you gave them Legends for PSN. You should know that's going to just pretty much kick the hornet's nest, right? You know that. Okay. Anyways, Capcom says the remaster pool won't go dry for a while because gamers are demanding remasters. No. What I've seen, certain games, yes, they've had demand for remasters. But as we've seen as of late, the reason why we see a lot of remasters are the fact that there's no really new IPs coming out for these new gen systems. You rushed out the systems, and now these games, they take longer to make. But you need those, those consumers to keep buying and keep buying and keep buying because of the fact that you need that revenue. Because you need to make up for the loss of how much it took to make those consoles. Right? Okay. But no. You want to sit here and say it'll be for a while? Yeah, it'll be around for a while because if companies keep pushing them out, then gamers are going to think that's all that there is. Think about it. Look, Sega announces Yakuza 1 Remaster and Yakuza 6, right? Megaman Legends, as you know, hits PSN, but Dragon Age Inquisition, a Game of the Year edition, that's right, Game of the Year edition announced for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The BioShock collection is listed for retailer for the PS4 and Xbox One. And Insomniac Games says that they're going to support Resistance PS4 port. That's right, a remaster. Yeah, they won't do any remasters though. So they're going to support it, even though another company will be doing it, but they're not going to support it. Look, Insomniac Games, let me tell you something, okay? Resistance 1, pretty good. Resistance 2, campaign, sucked. Alright? Sucked. Multiplayer, amazing. If you were smart, and we've talked about this before the multiplayer went down on the PS3, if you were smart, you would let this company, whoever's going to port it, remaster it, whatever, let them have the online for it. Alright? Let them have the co-op, let them have the adversarial. Because as you know, that game, that was what? That was up for what? 7 years, I would say, co-op? 7 years, maybe? Maybe more, I don't know. It's been so long. But it lasted that long because the community was dedicated. That's a long time as opposed to, every 3 months your game going down because everyone trades in a game. It just goes to show you, Insomniac, I don't know why you don't want to do it yourself. Is there a money issue? Are you working on too many projects? What's the problem? You just want to willingly hand it over to another company and say, hey, take your hand at it. We'll support you, but we're not going to do it ourselves. I don't understand that. I really don't. I mean, do you developers even care what you make anymore? I mean, seriously, you put so much passion and care into a product that's your baby, and then you say, it doesn't matter, just send it to someone else. That's what you're doing. Okay. Anyways, for your positive news of the day, that's right, for those who don't know, game developers unite to help children in war zones. That's right, and this is, I find this really great because I want to talk about this. It says some renowned game developers are uniting to create a compilation to help raise funds for children in war zones, all right, called Help Real War is Not a Game. Mind you, they keep saying, they went to the UN and it was like, they're trying to make killers, and all these politicians are saying, Nintendo killers, and they, Pokemon makes people into killers. Yes, they've said this. Pokemon makes people into killers. That's what they've said. Yep. But it says, Real War is not a game. The collaboration is an integral part of War Child's ongoing help campaign. That's right. It says the completed project will be the result of the upcoming game jam design to help fund War Child's ongoing activities in conflict-affected countries. So, while we're seeing right now that these children are in war zones and they have it so bad that developers are uniting to help them, through the power of video games, we have people who are going to the UN to say, I'm being cyber harassed. I'm oppressed. These people are in fucking war zones. These children who are more likely shell-shocked from it, right? But I'm oppressed because some people called me some names online. Do you see how fucking ridiculous it is? Do you see the priorities where they're at? Matter of fact, let's just look at the clip right now that actually promotes this. That's right, that helps children.
Exit! Wafi! Wafi!
So for every politician, for every Near Sarkeesian, For every Zoe Quinn, for every middle class to upper class asshole who wants to sit here and tell us gamers, or even the developers, that, we need to change our ways, and we should be thinking of the children. As you can see, developers are thinking of the children. As you can see, gamers from numerous charities are thinking of the children. Yet, you still want to paint us as bad guys. You still want to paint us as we are the absolute top priority that need to be eliminated. You can go fuck yourselves. Because as far as I'm concerned, that is what gaming can do. And if you can't see that that spreads awareness, there's something fucking wrong with you. Matter of fact, maybe some of you need to, step out of your little hug box and realize that everything that you're complaining about means nothing compared, or I should say is nothing compared to what those children go through in other countries. You want to talk about being oppressed? You have no idea what it means to be oppressed. But yet, you're making a killing off of it, and you're exploiting the gaming community for it. I find it really ridiculous that these people still get speaker fees, that they're being put on TV, that they're even allowed to go to the UN and talk on this issue, when we know that there are bigger issues at hand. But yet, for some reason, that doesn't matter. Because it's all about them. It's always been that way with them. But as a community, we've shown time and time again that it's not just about one single person. That we can help each other. Because that's what gamers do. It's just really sad that once again, we have people who pull these stunts and think, I'm a victim, I'm harassed. Like I said, you're not a victim. You're only online. You can log off anytime you want. But yet they seem to forget about that. These are the same people who said that they were going to quit Twitter. They were going to quit this or that. And then 2 to 3 days later come back. Because they know that's what keeps them relevant. Like I said, it is about them. And for these people to be adults, and act this way, should tell you exactly where everything is going. Not only is this a video game issue anymore, it's not. They have done this with comics. Over the weekend they did it with anime, video games. We already know they tried to take the fight to Hollywood and the music industry. And yet, all this funding, all these Patreons and Kickstarters, and they're all going in right into their pocket to do what? To produce videos to lie about more stuff? When you have children who are in war zones being affected by this type of... Okay. I think it's time for me to end the video. Because this is what I mean. This is not just a Gamergate issue. It doesn't matter what side you're on. It doesn't matter your opinion on the corruption and things. No. Look at everything that's happening. Look at the way they're conning people. Look at the connections that they have. This is not just a Gamergate issue. This is a community issue. And if you let these people walk in here and tell you what you need to change, then you've already lost. But as long as they can make careers off of it and make money off of it, they stay winning. The best thing you can do is cut them off. And I don't give a damn what gender you are. I don't give a damn what race you are. When serious things are happening, you need to prioritize. And as we know, they never do. Because it's all about them.